Great thing about a vision board is nothing is off limits. Put whatever you want on that vision board. It can be anything. And that's takes a moment to maybe dream and conjure up all these things that you want to be. It's that vision board is going to be that reflection of your higher self, right? Hello, welcome everyone to another episode of Off the Mat. My name is Nicole Dumoulin, and this is
Josh Dumoulin.
You guys, over the summertime at Champion Taekwondo in Lethbridge, we ran our Summer Passport Challenge, which is something we've done for 2 years in a row now. And during the course of the summer, students, if they're participating in this challenge or this passport challenge, they get a number of challenges that they complete over the 8 weeks of summer. And one of the challenges this year was to create a vision board. And this was my favorite challenge of the entire passport thing, because I started when it was that week that they had to do the vision board. I started seeing pictures in our Facebook group about all of these vision boards, and I thought, wow, it was just so cool to see everyone's thing. And so of course we're a martial arts school and it's a champion challenge, and so many of the commonalities of those vision boards was to become a black belt, or there would be a picture of a black belt, or a picture of like a drawing of someone doing a kick, or they had cut out some sort of picture, but it all alluded to one day that they're going to be a black belt. Now, the vision board I also loved just because I got to see like other things that the students that were excited about or had on their vision board. And when I was seeing all of those other things, I just thought, wow, like their martial arts training is all going to help them get those other visions of their life to come true as well. So anyway, that's just a little backstory about the vision board. But today we wanted to talk more in depth about the vision board and what it means to, I guess, what is the vision board? And then how can we support students, or students, how do you get closer and closer to that vision, and how do we bring it to life? So that's what we wanted to talk to you about today. I've done a few vision boards in my life. Have you done some vision boards?
Yep.
Or with our family, we've done some vision creation. However, we haven't really as a family done like a physical poster vision board. Mm-hmm. So this is something that we have on our list of things to do, because I have some poster board at home that I'm excited to bring out for the boys and for us too, because I've got 4 of them. For the 4 of us to sit down and create a vision board, and maybe we'll create a separate one for our family. And just because I was so inspired by all the champions doing this back home. But yeah, let's talk about what is a vision board. What is it?
Well, I think if you think of it like in a traditional sense, a vision board would just be a board, and it could be just a piece of paper, it could be a cardboard board, whatever it is that you just plaster on there your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, things that you want to achieve, places you want to go, trips that you want to take, houses that you want to live in, cars that you want to drive. It could be anything, like whatever it is that you aspire to be, aspire to want. You would put that on there so that way there's something there that's going to guide you towards that objective, that goal. It kind of just helps you take what's in your mind and just put it into reality, something that you can physically see.
The great thing about a vision board is nothing is off limits. Like, put whatever you want on that vision board. It can be anything. And that's takes a moment to maybe dream and conjure up all these things that you want to be. It's that vision board is going to be that reflection of your higher self, right? Your higher self is going to achieve all of these things or become all of these things. And so it's just a really exciting thing. And I think doing it with the kids is going to be exciting because they get to use their imagination and they get to kind of create what they have coming for themselves, right? So yeah, I love the idea of a vision board. I've done a few in my life, and if you've listened to a recent episode about when I did the bikini show or the bodybuilding show, that was a real thing for me. Like I had a picture, so that was my version of my vision board for that specific goal, right? I do some journaling and stuff, and so even within my journal, like I'm always talking about that future right? That future vision for myself. So even though mine may not be like a poster on the wall, it's something very real and lived in my journal. Yeah. And I remember going through this process for Champion. I mean, we talked about this. We had at the barbecue our original vision board for Champion, which was really exciting to bring out at our 10-year anniversary. That was so cool. And all of those things on that vision board have guided every decision that we made, and we've lived true to that original vision board, which is cool. Now, your vision can obviously change over time, and maybe there were certain elements on that board that did change a little bit, but a lot of like the core values that were identified on that vision board have stayed true to Champion. So that was really cool to see. Yeah, I've done a few like actual visual vision boards, and yeah, so I'm excited to do it again with our family.
Yeah.
So the first thing that we wanted to talk about was when it comes, we didn't want for you champions, talking to you specifically, that created a vision board, just to create the vision board, put it up in the wall, or maybe it got shoved away, I don't know, but how do we keep that vision vivid, right, and front of mind, and working towards it constantly? Because if it just gets shoved away, or we're not consciously making effort towards that vision, then it kind of just gets forgotten about. And you guys worked really hard on those vision boards, so now we got to put in the work to get those visions to come true. So the first step we were talking about is define the vision, right? Get crystal clear on what that vision looks like. So what I saw was champions putting, I want to be a black belt. But that's not quite defined enough. What does that mean? What does it look like for you? What does it feel like for you? What does that do for you? Like, you have to, why do you want, right? We always talk about the why. Why is that on your vision board? What is it going to do for you? What other like things do we need to get clear about on the defining the vision?
Yeah. Well, I think it's just that definitely like just going to just mainly that thing, like, why do you want, like, it's for the part about the black belt. Everybody said they want to be a black belt, but it's like, why do you want to be a black belt? Is it just because that's what you think you should want? Or is that what you want? And sometimes that, like, you know, you start something, you get a little bit excited about it, and you're like, oh, like, that's what I want. Like, really define, like, what that black belt means and why you want to get that black belt.
Yeah, like, what does it mean for you? When you were a kid in martial arts, in Taekwondo, did you have a vision of becoming a black belt?
That was a long time ago.
I know. But like, when you started in martial arts, did you have it in your vision, in your mind, that you were going to be a black belt one day? Or were you just like along for the ride? Because as you may or may not know, that, but Josh's dad, you guys started together, or he started and kind of brought you along?
No, we started together, and then he got his black belt. I was younger, so I didn't get mine till later on. But then he opened up a school and everything there. I don't think I like really wanted to be a black belt. Like, it wasn't something that was like a really like, that's what I wanted to have until later on. Until after he had already opened up his school. I was only a red belt at the time. And that's when I was like, really like, oh, I want to be a black belt. So when I was a kid, it wasn't like that. That's why it got me really excited when I saw some of these kids here with those goals. Cause it, like, for me, I just enjoyed training. Like, I enjoyed going to class and seeing my friends and going, you know, like, seeing the instructors and everything there too. So it was so cool seeing some of these kids who were, you know, my age essentially too, and they're putting up there that they want to be a black belt and everything. That was really cool.
Right.
Like,
for me, when I started in martial arts, that was a vision
right away.
Right away.
That's
It was like right away that I was going for a black belt, and that vision of what a black belt meant to me and who I would be as a black belt, it developed over time. Because when you first start, and you know, we were young when we started, you don't really know what that means. So it developed over time what exactly that meant for me to have a black belt. But very from the beginning, I had that vision of having a black belt and being, some of the things initially were like, I'm going to be strong, I'm going to be confident, I'm going to be a leader. Those were things that I defined very clearly, or early on, I mean, as to what my black belt would mean to me. So that was me defining the vision, and it developed more and more as I went, which I would think many of our students that are putting I want to be a black belt, they will get clear and more clear on what that means for them as they go. But initially, it's really important to just decipher, okay, why am I feeling the need to become a black belt? What does that mean? Going through all of those things. So on the vision board, you can use different images. Like I said, for my bodybuilding show, I had a picture that I looked at daily, right? So it's like finding a picture maybe that you can put on your vision board, I don't know. We got all kinds of options now with AI, right? Generating whatever picture that you want. Or you could put like different words or meanings behind what that black belt is going to mean for you. So all of that can go on your vision board. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's our second step?
Live the vision. So if you have put this on your vision board, you have defined what it is, you've defined what it means to you and why you want to do it. Now it's time to start living it. And so when you think of that black belt, what does a black belt act like? What does a black belt train like? What does a black belt eat like? What does a black belt show up like? All of those things really matter because like you have to start living it now. A lot of people think that they have to start being a black belt when they get a black belt, but you actually can start living like a black belt long before you have it. And so if you can start living like that black belt now, you're going to just be on that path to becoming one. It's the easiest thing, like not the easiest thing. It's just, it is the most important. Like you have to just start living it like it is today. I tell all the people who are, black stripes getting ready to test for black belt, start training every day like you're going to test tomorrow, like because the test will come tomorrow and you want to make sure you're prepared. So if you're training every day like it's going to happen tomorrow, well then you're already there. Like you're not going to panic when the day comes because you've been training every single day as if it's the same way. So yeah, just start living that vision. Start living like that black belt.
Right. Yeah. You don't start training for your black belt at red belt, right? Right before black belt. You start training for your black belt as a white belt. So that's important for white belts, younger belts to know, is that your training for a black belt has already begun. You may not know the maybe specific skills or patterns or routines that a black belt needs to know, but you're building the foundation for you to become a black belt. And so that's where working on some of the behaviors like consistency or self-mastery, like trying your best, putting in lots of effort, those are skills that you are already working on that are going to show up as a black belt, but you're working on them now, right? So take those small actions every single day. And so one of the things that you can maybe ask yourself is like, what actions can I take today or this week that will get me closer to that black belt version of myself? Another one would be at the end of the day is like, what actions did I take that got me closer to that black belt version of myself? And so it's like constant reflection on that and making sure that your actions are aligned with that vision that you have for yourself.
Number 3, talk about it. Like talking about your vision, like actually like sharing it with people. I think a lot of times we're afraid to, myself included. Like you're afraid to share what it is, but start talking about it. Talk about it with your parents.
Yeah, when it comes to talking about it, I'm selective of who I share my vision with. I think that's an important piece because not everyone is going to understand the vision that I have for myself. And that's okay, right? Like it's my personal vision. And so I have to be careful about who I share that with so that I'm sharing it with the right people that are going to support me in that goal, right? And that I think about, yeah, you could share it with your friends, but not all your friends are going to understand that. So I actually like to only share it with my allies, right? That allies are friends, but they're people that are going to push you and support you and get you closer to that version of yourself that you want to be. So I think there's a difference between those. Also, like students, kids, you could share this with your parents because your parents are going to support you in that vision, right? Another good one if we're talking about getting your black belt is talking to your martial arts coaches. They are going to be huge,
Yeah.
you know, supporters of that goal to get your black belt. Obviously, that's what they're there for. So that would be a great person to share your vision of getting a black belt and what that means to you and how, the actions that you're taking. Like that's what your black belt coaches are there for, is to coach you to that black belt. And just the act of talking about it keeps it like front of mind for yourself, right? And the more people that you can, have around you that will support you, just the more cheerleaders you have to push you towards that goal, towards that vision of yourself. So I think talking about it is really important, but being selective of who you share that vision with.
No, yeah, absolutely. Lastly, and definitely something that you got to do is constant reflection. So, like always going back and revisiting. So, if you are, taking the steps you've defined, you have started living by it, you have shared it with your allies, you have gone through it, you've got to constantly go back and reflect on it. Like, because it's easy for you to set this vision ahead and get really motivated about it, get really excited about it. You've told a couple people, they support you, they high five you, but then a tough day comes along and it's really easy to kind of let that vision fade a little bit. And if you let it fade too much, it's really easy to fall off and just let it become another thing that sits in the closet and becomes nothing that you've accomplished. So same thing, it's important to go back and constantly reflect and like go back and loop through, like, why was this important to you when you made it originally? Okay, where did you stop living by that? And boy, did I really I haven't shared it with people. I haven't shared that I'm struggling with this right now. Reflect on it and go back to it constantly.
Yeah, so the great thing about having like a visual vision board, I guess that's why it's called a vision board, but you can post it somewhere that you're going to see it daily. But there has to be an active practice about reflecting on that vision board, because it's easy for the vision board to become just any other decoration on the wall, right? So you have to have some sort of ritual of reflecting back on that vision. So it could be, okay, I'm going to take, a minute every day to look at my vision board and decide what are the actions I'm going to take today that will let me live towards my vision. Or at the end of the day, maybe you're reflecting back on the day, like what actions did I take today to get closer to my vision, and what other actions or what could I do 1% better tomorrow to just refine my actions going forward, right? So having just some sort of practice, maybe it's a weekly practice. Like I like to meditate and visualize a lot of things. So that for me maybe doesn't happen every single morning or every single night. But there are things that I like, a visualization practice where, you could be looking at your board, or it's something that where you close your eyes and let your imagination go and let yourself revisit that grand vision that you had for yourself. So yeah, just revisiting. And then I was thinking about what are some things, because some of those vision boards that we saw, were coming from 8, 9, 10-year-olds wanting to be black belts. And so that was so cool. I think that's what that is what sparked this whole conversation about vision boards, because it was just cool that these young kids were having these grand visions. And of course, parents, we were thinking about what can the parents do to help support their kids in those visions. So we were thinking about different questions you could ask the kids of, just to keep that vision like front and center. I had a few written down here. Here's an easy one, is like, what's your favorite part of your vision board right now? Right? We talk about this like when we're asking them about their day or asking about their training or asking like, hey, what's your favorite part of your vision board? So it gets them to go think about what's on their vision board and report back to you like what's favorite or what's exciting you about your vision board today or this week or this month, or asking them those questions, just like I was talking about those reflective questions, but asking them, okay, so what actions did you take this week that was aligned with your vision and that got you closer to your vision? What do you think? And like having a discussion around that. Or this one was a fun one. Is it like if you were to create a movie out of your vision, what would the movie title be? Or like what actor or character would play you in your vision, becoming a black belt? Like maybe they can reflect on like some famous martial artists to like be part of that. Anyway, those were just a few questions that, and I do this with Ryder and Rocky quite a bit. We read The Way of the Warrior Kid. I'm sure I've mentioned that book before, but it's all about Mark, who his uncle Jake comes for the summer and they work on, Mark has these visions for himself and Uncle Jake is the one that helps him get to those visions. Right. And so with Ryder and Rocky, I'm always asking like, okay, so what would a warrior kid do? Or like in Champion's case, like what would a champion do? How would a champion respond to that situation? I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with something on the top of my head, but I do that with Ryder and Rocky all the time because it's like putting them back to like, yeah, we want to be strong warrior kids. And so I'm always asking them, okay, like, or I'll make a comment if they do something, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's such like a warrior kid thing.
Yeah, no, I think most importantly, you've got to take a genuine interest in it too. I think sometimes we look at it and we're like, oh, maybe that's cute. Look at them. They made this. That is to them, this is their world they just put out there. And so take a genuine, like compassionate interest in every detail of what they put on there. The black belt, going for a run, do these things, but then also take active interest in it and then just help pursue them along the way, push them along the way. This was something that was really important to them. And so be there to support them and really encourage them along the way, because again, the vision's going to get tough. It's going to get blurry and they're going to want to quit. Like all of us want to at some point with whatever it is that we're doing. So be there to encourage them along the way, but really take an active interest in what it is they put on there, because it really mattered a lot to them. So they took a lot of time to put the idea out there. It was courageous. It was hard, and they did it. And so when you look at it, try not to look at it with just like, oh, this is cute. Look at it with pride and joy and excitement for them, and really be interested, like what every little detail, why did you put a little color block on here? Like every little detail on it, take a real hard look at it.
Yeah, it's been cool with Ryder. He's done a couple little things where he's had somewhat of a vision board, or he's put like his dreams on on that. You know what I'm talking about, but yeah, it was so cool to see that, because you kind of get a glimpse into what's happening inside of their head and where they see their future going, and that's so cool. And I just love it. So I'm excited actually to do the vision board activity as a family, just because we haven't done that in a while. I mean, every January, December, we always kind of do our family vision for the
Right.
next year. But this will be just a little bit different, is like making an actual poster for us. So I'm excited. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of giving some tips about vision boards, making sure you're defining it, right? Talking about it, sharing it with the people that are going to support you. And then parents, hopefully you got a tip or two of just taking an interest into their vision and keeping the conversation alive for them and keeping that vision as vivid as it can be for them as they, hope to get their black belts one day, which is really exciting. It was really cool for us to see.
And if you are listening to this on audio, I just asked you guys take 30 seconds, just go to YouTube and hit subscribe and follow along with those two. It really just helps us out with that as well. So we just can stay notified there. And if you do want to watch the episodes, you're more than welcome to. But even if you just go on there and subscribe, it would just mean the world to us. So thank you guys so much for that. Share your vision boards. It was really cool, and we can't wait to make ours, for ours.
Thanks everybody for listening to another episode of Off the Mat. I'm Nicole Dumoulin, and this is
Josh Dumoulin.
and we'll see you next time in the next one.